How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Hunter Alive with us tonight. They can say their names and what they do in the band.
All right. I'm Jake. I do vocals around these parts.
I'm Pat. I play guitar and move around a lot.
And I'm Rohan. I also play guitar, and I make whooshy noises.
Can you define what a whooshy noise is, Rohan?
It's kind of like it's in between whoosh, whoosh, and
On point. On point. The guys have plenty of whooshies. Just remember that. Anytime you go check out their music, if it doesn't have a whoosh on it, just make sure to go at Rohan. Just tell him not enough whooshes. And then he'll make sure for the next song, tons of whooshes. Tons. So
Totally.
keep your eyes peeled. But want to give a shout outs to my man Chris. We've been good friends, and actually that's how I met Jake. So very cool. Love Chris. He already knows. But I don't know too much about your band and other than just knowing Jake and seeing him at Philly shows. So I want to know, guys, what is the origin story of Hunter Alive? How'd you guys all come together? Spare no details. Say it all, leave it all out on the table, you know?
I'll let Pat have this one because Pat's pretty much the founder and inceptor of the band.
The daddy.
Band.
Yeah.
Band dad.
So I guess going back like 6 years, I had a bunch of demo tracks that I had been writing for quite a while. And I wasn't done with music. I grew up playing drums and I switched to guitar and I wrote. And I really wanted to give music another go. And I found myself in a pretty dark place. After a lot of death and a lot of loss, I wasn't doing well as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And, I wanted to put forth, my best effort and to really like kind of turn my life around. And I worked pretty hard on finding members, which I found my drummer, Matt, and he and I worked together for about a year to piece together the original Hunter Alive, which was with another guitar player who would leave about a year and a half in, and then Rohan would join. But it was, it wasn't easy. It was a lot of work. Jake was the missing link that came about a year into piecing the members together. And one of the cool things was we gave Jake an audition immediately. Like, he blew us away. We were going through about like 2 people a week for a couple months, and Jake was really young. He came out strong and just really fit what we were looking for. And I think it was like 2 weeks later, Jake, we were in the studio, right? Like, recording.
Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous. I played bass in a band like freshman year of college, and it was like an indie rock band, and it was so unfulfilling not getting to play like metal stuff. And I was just getting bored. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like I should do vocals in a metal thing. And actually when I started, I did all right, but I didn't completely know what I was doing. But I went on Craigslist and I was like, I'm gonna find a band. And this dude, Pat, I found his ad and I just responded to it, and he sent me some tracks and was like, I want you to write some stuff and demo this. And so I went and I auditioned, and they asked me to come back the next week, and then they're like, all right, cool, we like you. You got like 2 weeks to write some lyrics for these tracks because we're going to go into the studio and record an EP. Yeah, it was pretty fast track. Yeah, I was like 18 at the time, youngest member. I think the next oldest member was Matt at the time, and he was like 25.
No, I don't even think Matt was 25. I think Matt was like 23. I forget.
Matt was 25. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Push the baby.
The baby, yeah.
The baby.
But it was cool though. I mean, having somebody so young join. I mean, I'm the oldest. Everyone else is, mid late 20s or early 30s, and when Jake came, he like definitely had like this energy about him, and he had like a contemporary understanding of music, which I come from like an older punk background and older hardcore stuff,
Yeah.
and it was really cool to merge and mash a lot of different styles, and then when Rohan joined, he really kind of gave Hunter Alive the body that it was missing.
It's the wishy noises.
The
That's
wishy,
the wishy noises.
wishy noises equals body. Just remember that, guys. So when you join a band, you know
He
what to
brought the
look for.
curves.
He brought the curves, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I come in a fresh young core kid.
the makings of just a solid band is. I'm not even gonna go there. I was gonna make a funny joke, but now I'm gonna pass on
Dude,
that.
make funny jokes. We're all
I
about
was
funny jokes.
I was gonna
Don't
say
hold
it's just
back
like
here.
we need a young boy, a wishy noises, and just like a bunch of like metal music. So I feel like that's
Yeah.
what's stirring in the pot there. So, but Rohan, I have to ask too. Like, obviously, you had joined the band. Had you been in bands previously before this point as well? And obviously coming up to Hunter Alive, I feel like as you said eloquently, you add the whooshy noises. So
Yeah,
how'd that come to be?
Yeah, I played bass in a thrash band for a little while called Honor Amongst Evil, just like Jersey, just like straight thrash. It was like very like Iron Maiden esque, like I guess progressive thrash, like
Wow.
Iron Maiden crossed with Dream Theater. It was cool, but I straight up wasn't good. Like I was the artist. I did all their artwork, and like they needed a bass player to pinch hit, so I joined for a while for like shy of a year. But then they found like I joined knowing that they were gonna replace me with a better, more talented musician, and they were like, "Are you cool with that?" I'm like, "I'm totally cool with that. I'm not good at bass. I'm not a good bass player." And then before that, like when I was like in high school and in like early college, I played in a ska band. I was a huge ska kid growing up. Yeah, and I played horn and guitar in Last Picked. We opened for Catch 22 and stuff. It was cool. We played like the Rex. We played all these like local New Jersey ska venues. It was a good time. Um, but yeah, I always wanted to be in like a metal band. I always wanted to play hardcore metal. That's like the stuff I was listening to, definitely at the time. And it just like it worked out that I was going to an open mic night in Raritan, New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
every Tuesday. Just hanging out at the bar, like playing punk rock with friends. And a mutual friend of Pat and mine reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, my buddy Pat is looking for a guitar player. I think you'd be a good fit. You should meet him." And then I met Pat at Austin Raritan at a bar. We grabbed drinks, and he gave me the lowdown of the band. And a funny story, and actually the guys don't even know this. Pat was like, we found this amazing singer on Craigslist, and I was like, and then I went home that night to my roommate. I'm like, yeah, he was really cool, and like like we have a lot in common, which was really dope. But like they were like he was like looking for people on Craigslist. It's kind of a weird vibe. I don't know if I want. I don't know, man. Like, am I safe?
No.
He
no,
rolls up in a
no.
white van. He starts like shaking some quarters out the
Like,
window. He's like,
we
"Come
found
on,
some really
guys, let's
young-
go play
we found
the
some
show."
young boy. We found some young boy on Craigslist. What?
He's like,
But
"Dudes, I got
also
candy in the
didn't know that
van. Let's
young
go."
boy was like a giant. He was like a huge, bulky dude. I met Jake. I was like, and I had only heard Jake's voice like talking before I actually met him, and he's like very kind, soft spoken individual. And then I met him. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I also felt the
funny
same way.
too, like touching on that. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like touching on like, Rohan was in like, ska and, punk band reggae stuff. And, Jake was like, I guess, doing different things. I come from this like pop punk background. I spent years and years playing like pop punk bands and emo bands. And like, I never wanted to play metal. I still don't even like think or know, are we a metal band? Like, I guess we fit the bill, but like, it's just kind of fallen into place. And I think that is a really like, it's just a lot of different backgrounds and contributions from everybody. Even our drummer and bass player, we all stem from so many different places, and I think just developed what we are. It's neat.
Yeah, no, I feel like because I did check out Year of the Rats, which I'll leave links in the description to go pick it up. Obviously, go listen to it. It's great. I made it through all of the songs before we hopped on, luckily enough. And I was like, holy shit! Like this kind of has like, as you mentioned, has like some. I can hear some like post. Obviously, a large post-hardcore influence. There is like that progressive element, obviously within that, and then I hear a little bit of pop punk, obviously like melodic hardcore, and I feel like you guys kind of encapsulate like all of those different sounds. The first bands that like came to mind in terms of if I had like for fans of this, these are the bands that I initially just right off the gate thought. Um, Counterparts being one of those bands, I felt like I had to say them. Uh, I felt like there was a little Silverstein in there, like in terms of like maybe some of the guitar work, and then the last one I probably rounded out with is like a Capstan. I feel like they're kind of like that band that is all encompassing, and I feel like you guys take different elements from like the sort of punk beats to like some of the like again the crazier guitar work, and so I really liked it. This is well up my lane of music that I already enjoy. So I felt like you guys fit right in that pocket of bands that were something that I already listened to already, and so go check it out. Years of the
That's
Rats,
awesome.
it's great.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I yeah, I think you gave us some new for fans of links for our Spotify. we
There we
we already
go.
had Counterparts in there.
Okay.
I mean, I have the eulogy crew neck on right now, but yeah, I
This
know
was
that
not
I'm
planned, guys. I didn't tell
Yeah,
Jake to wear this.
Yeah, I think in the studio too, like when we write both, like either whether it's like we're jamming in the practice space or at the studio, I think like Counterparts comes up all the time. Silverstein also comes up a lot,
Oh
especially I
wow,
feel like
okay.
between like me, Pat, and Zach. I feel Silverstein comes up a lot.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
Counterparts like
especially
all the
Matt.
time. Matt too.
Matt
Yeah,
Matt has a bigger like
mhm,
pop punk kind of influence.
mhm.
Like the song Memento, which is
Yep.
probably the song with the most Silverstein influence. There was like a large part of that was written by him, so that's kind of what he bring a bit is like that Silverstein like pop punk kind of vibe.
Yep,
Mhm.
yep. And yeah, I mean a few other I mean Norma Jean, I feel it comes up a lot when we're
Ooh,
talking
yeah.
about guitar
Okay.
parts, especially the rhythm guitar parts.
Yeah.
Um, and of course, like the modern core stuff. I mean, it's always top of mind. It's just super popular. And then I feel like I mean, Pat and I are old, so
Damn.
we bring in
He
so,
immediately
like
threw Pat under the bus. He's like, yeah, so we're
it's like
both old,
of
right?
course, like all like the post, like I feel like we talk about like AFI and Thrice a lot. And like
Thrice was another
Thursday,
one.
and
That's a
like the
great, yeah.
early, like all those like early mid 2000s post hardcore bands. I mean, we grew up with that for sure. Cut our teeth on that. Comeback Kid comes up a lot.
Yeah, ooh,
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
that's great. I just think it's funny that we were just like, yeah, so Pat, he's old, we're just gonna
We're both old. We're all-
and
yeah.
he looks over and he's just like, man, yeah, old,
Yeah.
right?
Come on,
Shit.
man. But it's cool. Doing this, like it's just I've been doing music for a long, long time, and it's always like it keeps you young. Music is just it's timeless,
Mhm.
and you just have to get with the right group. And I think that's one thing that's so special about Hunter Alive is that I knew none of them, when we started putting the
Mhm.
band together. And usually you get friends, and you friends with like your group or a scene,
Mhm.
and every single one of us has come from a different background. And other than Rohan and I, we went to the same high school, but we were never friends.
But we
Like
never met, which is really
we
weird.
never met.
We were
Yeah,
at the same high school at the same time.
Wow.
right,
Also, we
right.
lived on the same street,
Actually,
which
with
we also still never met. It's bizarre.
But that was just like the gap, the age gap.
Wow.
And it's like Matt and Zach,
yeah.
drummer and bass player. They had a previous history of being in bands together, but other than them, like it was just so, and the fact that like five strangers could come together and like just really mesh, and we've been doing this for a little over five, over 5 years now. And we've put out a lot of different music, and it changes each record, and it gets better, and I don't know, it just works. We just have such a great camaraderie.
It's just the chemistry, It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
I think you can tell like within the EP as well, because you can hear like all of you guys gelling and kind of meshing really well. And I think when I have like bands that are on there more local to mine, like what I listen to in the area, I always try to see how well like all of these members collectively mesh within the band, because you can tell if there's like some magic or going on in the tracks. And I felt like from track 1 to track 5, I enjoyed it from front to back. Again, I might have a little bit of bias because I already like a lot of the bands that you guys are influenced by. So I feel like in that aspect, it was something that I was already feeling already. But I think that you guys encapsulated different elements of that like post-hardcore, like metalcore kind of crossover like genre appeal, where I feel like there's enough songs that if you like singing, you can have certain songs where there's gonna be a lot more majority of singing, and then there's songs that have a little bit more screaming and have a little bit more heaviness. So if you lean more towards the like metalcore side of things, there's definitely songs that way. So I think you guys hit a nice variety of not just sticking to one lane and doing that. I think you guys kind of have like a nice broader spectrum, and you can have people that are like more into that post-hardcore sound and have more of the singing and can get in your face at shows and have that moment, or you can have other people that are just gonna like kick the shit out of you in the pit somewhere. So I think it's a good mix. I would say my favorite out of the songs off the album, uh I really liked the mask we wear. I thought that one was probably my favorite one. Maybe closely followed by, uh, I really enjoyed Rat King. That was also a good one. So
So
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
those are
think
So-
I
probably the
think
two most post-hardcore.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's my bread and butter.
It's
I
got the
love
space.
that.
You got the atmospheric stuff. Yeah.
I feel like my friends who listen to more post-hardcore like Rat King more, and my
Mm.
friends who are more pop punk like Memento. Like
Mhm.
That's
those are the
fair.
two that I tend to get the most of. Like, oh, this was my favorite song. It's usually split between those two.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking on the topic, guys, I have to ask as well. Speaking about Year of the Rats, for people who maybe aren't familiar with Hunter Alive and your music, what would be a good song you would recommend to a new listener to kind of get a flavor or an idea of Hunter Alive?
Ooh, that's a good one. I guess it
Mm.
depends, but I don't know. Like, I feel like Memento is the catchiest track. So, like, if a friend,
Okay.
it's also the most like approachable for like a friend who doesn't like
Yeah.
listen to like heavier screamy stuff.
Fair
If
enough,
you were to
yeah.
be like that's the one that I show my coworkers.
Yeah.
That's the
It's
like,
Memento.
yeah.
It's funny
Okay.
that you say that. I mean, same for me. That's like the one that I would share with my coworkers. I mean, it also helps that we have a video for it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. That makes
That's
sense.
true.
But yeah, I would agree with Jake. That's like the most accessible.
Yeah,
I do think the mask we wear is probably the most like, probably it's like right in the middle. I think of like the more post-hardcore and like metalcore
I would
between
agree,
like more
yeah.
pop punk stuff. So like that's probably if you want like to get an idea of like what we sound like overall, that's probably a good place to start. I think that like is will give you a good idea for like our previous record as well. Um, yep.
I would agree.
Yeah.
That's my favorite song off the EP.
There we go. Pat?
Yeah, although
Yeah.
if we had to pick between the two records, I would say Inherit off of I Decide is probably the most Hunter Alive. Like it probably sounds like it's got
I
all
agree.
the elements of what we do, what I feel we do well, which is like it's got like the melodic stuff, the poppy catchy, choruses. It's got like the really atmospheric stuff, and it's got like a super fucking brutal like breakdown in there.
I agree.
So,
That's
it's got
good.
like a little bit of everything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's the first song we actually put together for our last full length too.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, by the end, it was still my favorite song.
Same.
Yeah.
It's just, I think on that record, it's probably just one of like the best blends and one of the songs that captures us best. So
Hmm.
if you skip the EP and deep dive back, Inherit for sure.
All those
And
people who do
it's
that.
always a staple. It's always a staple that we play live. It's just one of those songs that it has to get played. It's fun for us. I know it's fun for me. But that will always, I think, be in our set list.
Yeah,
Did
it's
you?
super fun. Super one of my favorite songs to play for sure. I feel like it blends really nicely with the new stuff too. I know that when I was writing guitar parts, like lead parts, I was definitely that song was top of mind for sure. To make sure that like that they gelled well from one album to the next.
Mm.
It is. I did also listen to the full length as well, and I was like, okay, there's something going on here. I think I made about halfway through the full length, so I'll have to listen to the second half and let you guys know what's going on. But I try to do my due diligence, when I have people on. But Pat, did you have an answer? I don't think we got your answer.
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, the safe bet if you're going to, show somebody a song that might not be into metal, you know, Memento obviously is the choice. I love Burnt Plastics. I
Ooh,
think,
okay.
that's the song. Yeah, that kicks off the record, and I don't know. For me, it was like such a transition from Eye to Side, our full length, and it was
Mhm.
like, what, this is the turning point for something new, and collectively us, because the full length was, I don't want to say it was a rushed album, but we definitely didn't spend as much time pre-proing and doing things collectively, getting 5 different people's input
Mhm.
like we did with Year of the Rats. And you can really tell that on Year of the Rats that it's just, it's all of us, you know?
I also
Yeah.
noticed that as well. There's like this collectiveness, as I said before. I just feel like you guys kind of all gelled more so together on Year of the Rats, where I felt like the songwriting, the musicianship was just all there. And that's not to discount I Decide. I think that's been great thus far as well. But
Yeah,
you can definitely hear there's more of a collective thought. Like everybody's thinking in like one cognitive unit with Ear the Rats, and I felt like with I Decide there was certain points where I was like, okay, like this is where I think it's gonna go, just because I had listened to the EP, and
right.
maybe it didn't wind up going that way, and that's kind of a little bit, obviously listening to something that is more current versus something that happened in the past. So those two
Right.
kind of thought processes are a little different, but I do feel like this was way, like, I think you guys stepped it up certainly from the full length to this EP, because there's just so much more like depth within 5 songs versus the songs that I've listened to with I Decide, where I was like, okay, like I can kind of see where the puzzle pieces are going, where they're gonna fit, but it wasn't like fully realized until the EP. So if I had to fight for the thing to listen to first is Year of the Rats, but if you
Mhm.
are like me and you like to go to the back catalog and make your way forward, then you should go listen to I Decide as well. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, we're still a pretty young band, like in all reality. We've been around for a few years, but like even if you go all the way back to like the first EP that we
Mhm.
did like before that full length, like it's very different like in a way. Like it's very much, I mean, and that, to the credit, those were all just Pat's demos that he
Mhm.
started the band with. So it's been like over the course of time that we've been like throwing in more elements and like mixing the styles. There's a bit of a learning curve there between like the first EP and then the Year of the Rats EP.
Sure.
And then even going forward, like we're working on some new stuff, and even then we're just refining the blending process.
The new demo.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah,
just like we threw Jake into the mix like 2 weeks in, it was like, all right, pal, like, you're recording, basically in New York City. You're gonna have to drive from Pennsylvania to New York. Welcome to the band. When Rohan joined, we were getting Rohan up to speed to learn the set lists while writing I Decide is we were about a month, maybe 6 weeks away from going into the studio to record, an 8-track full length. And so Rohan, like, I mean, to his credit, we spent hours upon hours, almost 3-4 days a week, writing I Decide for about 4 to 6 weeks while teaching him, learning the set so we could also play shows.
Whew.
So, I mean, we crammed. So,
Luckily, at the time, Pat and I lived really close to each other. So we were like basically in the same town, so we were only 10 minutes away. So that was very doable. Now we're all, kind of in, different parts of the country. So much more difficult. But like, thankfully, at the time when we had to crunch down really hard, it worked. The distance worked out.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, again, guys, I'll leave links to Year of the Rats in the description. Go give it all a listen. Go pick it up. It's, I sound like a used car salesman. It's only $333. Go pick it up right now. Buy now. Buy. Stocks are hot. Go buy it. Hunter Alive. Stocks are up. They're, so if I had an infographic, I'd put it here, but I don't. Maybe in post. But stonks, yeah. But yeah, I really, really dug this, and I think that I would imagine a lot of my fan base is going to enjoy this. So please go give it some love and let us know in the comments what you think about Hunter Alive down below. That'd be awesome. But the next question I have for you guys, I feel like you kind of alluded to your influences and who you guys, were influenced by early on, but who kind of influenced you to play your respective instrument, and then as well who influences your musical styles more currently now?
Go ahead, Jake.
Oh, crap.
Go, Jake.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like my musical journey was a bit like weird, maybe not too weird. But like I grew up more so with like the Christian rock and Christian metal side of the world.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, because
We're in the same lane.
I grew up in a pretty Christian household, so kind of the bands that got me into music it started off with the more like rock alternative bands like Switchfoot and Reliant K.
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
Upgraded to like 1,000 Foot Crutch and like Demon Hunter, and then my best friend Luke, I remember his dad got him like a home stereo system and like gave him like a bunch of CDs, and like he had a bunch of metal stuff, so like I upgraded from that, and then there's like a bit of Skillet, and then it jumped to like Linkin Park and Slipknot, which is I feel like a lot of people's gateway bands. Like a lot of like the new metal type stuff. So I hadn't hit core yet, not core yet, but then,
not yet.
I moved down here, and I made some friends when I moved to the States. Oh, I'm Canadian. There's a thing there. So when I was in ninth grade, I moved here, and I made some new friends, and they were big into metal. And so from there, I started to get into core. Like the first live band I ever saw was August Burns Red with like Bless the Fall. Yeah, and like early Beartooth. Like I think it was their first EP that dropped. So like a lot of that like core kind of background. So I mean, that's kind of how I got there. And then it was smooth sailing and then it's just a rabbit hole. and then one day you wake up and you're like on the couch addicted to gent. And there's nothing you can do about
it. That one time.
Yeah,
that one time.
Jake's sleeping in polyrhythms.
Sugar once.
Yeah.
Right.
Jake's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1.
Actually, I think my first gent band was Tesseract.
Oh, classic. I love Tesseract. Yes.
Classic gent.
Acoustic. Love it. I love it. I'm all about it. Rohan or Pat?
Yeah, I'll go next. I mean, I started playing music really young. Like my parents were like, tiger parents, and they had me playing piano at like the age of 2. So I was,
Damn.
I was one of those kids, and I really hated it. I really fucking hated the piano. Now it's cool. We've become friends again, the piano. But back, like, I really despised it. I hated practice. I hated lessons. I started taking guitar lessons like in like 8th grade or so. And then I was always in like band. I was like a band kid, marching band. I played horn, ska, horn. I'm a horn player, so yeah, all of that. But still play guitar. I got really into punk like through ska because like the horn stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, there's like you can play horn and you can make it like fun and it's not just boring classical shit or jazz, which I wasn't into at the time, but now I love.
Feels.
So yeah, I got into ska and then punk through there and like cut my teeth in like all the New Jersey punk bands like Bouncy Souls, Midtown, all the ska bands, Catch 22, Streetlight. You know, went to like every fucking Streetlight show ever. You know, all the time. I was like, I was a kid jumping, doing cartwheels off the stage and stuff.
Hell
That was
yeah.
me, for sure. Did a lot of that.
Must be nice being small.
Yeah, broke many bones
If I
jumping off
do
of
that-
stages.
Yeah.
And not
Yeah,
getting
you
caught.
break your bones. If I do that, I'm gonna break someone else's bones.
I have the number of times I've jumped off the Stone Pony stage and not been caught and landed on the concrete is quite a lot, and hurt myself in many many ways. You know, going to all the Firehouse shows, all that. Yeah, and I didn't really get into metal until I moved to Virginia for college. My floor mates were really into Converge, and I'd never heard anything like that before, and it kind of changed everything. I got really into hardcore and core. They started taking me to all the straight edge RVA scene shows like Brace War, Cold World, like all those bands, which like all the crews, like all these kids like show up in like basketball shorts and,
Yep.
and shit and threw down, but they were all straight edge, which I didn't really understand. It like I still don't really understand, but it was cool, I guess. You know, it was like, oh, whoa, like a show, like music can be like this. This is crazy. And then, you know, through then like I started getting like I kind of rediscovered guitar and started playing again and playing a lot of metal, learning and like actually learning shit, like learning my scales and stuff and playing like a lot of. I went through a phase of just playing a lot of Megadeth and a lot of like Maiden and classic
All right.
metal shit, Ozzy, all that. Randy Rhoads is probably my favorite guitar player of all time. And yeah, it's kind of like yeah, I've just been like into metal and playing metal and like any place where I can like play punk and also shred as much as possible. That's like where I would be. And now to this day, I still take lessons. I started taking guitar lessons again during the pandemic because it's like something
Nice.
to do.
All right.
Because I was like losing my mind, not doing shit. So yeah, I take lessons with Alexis Pareja and the number 12.
Nice.
Number 12 looks
Oh,
like you. So
yeah.
I've been taking lessons with him now. We're going 3 years, and I feel like a lot of what I learned with him. It's mostly jazz, but it's a lot of theory, and I try as much as possible to bring in a lot of that into a lot of the new shit. So a lot of the You're the Rat stuff uses, you know, like some of that stuff, like more theory shit, like a lot of diminished stuff, and trying to, you know, put my scales to use and put my intervals to use and all of that. And yeah, trying to continue doing that with a lot of our new shit too.
Yeah,
feel
he
that.
really does. Like, if I'm like, hey, Rohan, I have a riff to record, I'll play it, and then he'll be like, what is that? And I'll like find the root and be like finding all the intervals and be like, what is that? Is that the 6th and the 7th?
That's sick.
He's got probably the most technical skill in the band. Maybe even the amount of technical skill combined. Actually, I know Zach has a lot of technical skill too.
Guys are
but
just
maybe the most.
the next album is just gonna be a tech like gent record, and you guys are gonna completely throw me off.
No.
He's like, hell no.
We're
Pat's like, I'm not
we're
gonna let that happen.
All tech
and
debt.
let me tell you why. So while Rohan is, you know, taking it upon himself to better himself,
I
Pat's
feel
found the
like something's coming.
no, I mean, I think we write very well together. I like keeping things very simple enough to where like I can have fun on stage and play. You know, my goal is when I play live is to be as wild and reckless as possible and put on a show. And you know, writing rhythm parts or, you know, whatever, anything to allow me to do that is where I live. You know, so it's not to say I can't, but I choose to support my group the best way possible. And for me, that's just to act like a maniac on stage. So
I mean, no one
having the
wants a
more
band.
simpler
No one
part.
wants to see. No one wants to see a band who's just like looking down at their guitars the whole time and just playing like
No,
needly shit. I mean,
no,
that's
we're
like
not.
it sounds good on a record, but like it brings no energy to the stage. So I think like Pat and I are a great balance. Like everything in
Yeah, oh
balance,
yeah.
right?
Right.
Everything's
Yeah,
a
if you
balance.
want that, go see Architects. They're phenomenal statues. They have a great live show, and it's not a knock. I love Architects, but I grew up, watching so many bands, and the ones that really got me were the ones that were, backflipping into the crowd and climbing
yeah.
up, on their amps and just going buck wild. I mean, Norma Jean is a great
Yep.
example of a live show. Which is a big influence for me, and I guess we'll transition into that. But growing up playing drums, I grew up with punk bands and ska bands, and Op Ivy, Bad Religion, Blink, obviously, Offspring, and then somewhere around like Drive Through Records, and when I heard Finch for the first time, I was like, all right,
Yes.
things can be edgy and heavy, and that door. I mean, Finch really opened up Pandora's box for me. I mean, that led to victory bands, like Atreyu, which I know Zach's a big fan of Atreyu, and then like kind of that like MySpace rabbit hole of these bands that were emerging that nobody heard of, and being a drummer and a lot of I played in a bunch of like screamo bands. I mean, we were always the New Jersey support for like Alisana and Chiodos when they came through, and growing up and being friends with some of the guys in like Census Fail. I mean, like blending a lot of like that influence led me to, I guess, the harder side of things, the heavier side of things, and just I don't know. I pull from so many different backgrounds and influences, but for those heavy hitters, I mean, even like bands that would come through, like Life Ruiner, Canadian band, I believe, right, Jake? I mean, I was doing a lot of work with these bands when I was running shows and touring, and see a lot of local heavy talent that kind of shaped, I guess, who I am today.
I got you. And I also feel like the moral of the story is Pat brings the Oonga Boonga riffs, and then Rohan is like the Tosin Abasi, where he's just like, all right, guys,
I'll
let's
tell
see
you,
what I gotta do. All right, great,
Jake,
sick.
I feel like
Jake,
honestly, Zach is the Oonga Boonga.
yeah, Jake and Zach, they throw down with heavy, and
We
sometimes
be
like,
the Oonga Boonga.
right, I don't really know what I do. I guess because like,
He's just a
you
dad
know,
standing in the back, like right in front of the sound guy. He's just
I
like,
feel like
yeah, I
Pat
think
brings
this
Pat
the
brings the punk
mix.
energy, like the skate punk.
Yeah.
Like the skate punk part of our sound, I feel
Okay.
like is very much comes from Pat.
I would agree.
And I do think it's like pretty crucial to our sound. Like if you remove that, then we start becoming either just like a metalcore, like just straight metalcore, or like I don't know, like dumb technical chunk.
Yeah.
It's one of the two, but
Just a shred band.
It doesn't have that driving, feel good vibes.
I got you.
Feel that it has because of that punk backbone. Like we're a punk band. Like if someone asks us what kind of band we are, I would say like we're a punk band. We're like a punk band with like some screamy shit.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely makes sense. I mean, if you listen to the EP, that was like that was kind of where we started, and that was what kind of defined the band at first. And that's very much like skate punk, hardcore, like D beat everywhere, like the like that's like all over it. That's
Yeah.
very much the what kind of defined and opened the door for Hunter Alive, and kind of everything we've done since then is kind of take that EP and throw a bunch of more stuff at the wall and kind of see what sticks, and then be like, that works, and kind of expand on that.
And just to piggyback off that, what's I think really fun and special about Hunter Alive specifically is that, we kind of don't really have a genre as well as, yeah, we do fall under like a punk umbrella, but when we write, there's nothing that is off the table. We try to
Mhm.
pull from all of our backgrounds, and that's also opened up a lot of the doors for us for who we play with. I mean, often enough, we're sometimes the heaviest band in the room, but we're all sometimes the lightest band. I mean, we've played with Lorna Shore and Signs of the Swarm, and I felt this big. I felt super, super small playing with those bands. They're just, giant. Their sound is so just huge, and then you have us, and it's just like we can fit though. We
Yeah, oh yeah.
still roll with it, and that's what's cool about us is we're very versatile in that regard.
And then we play with indie rock bands, and people are like, "What?
Oh yeah, that's
What
always
is
fun.
this? This is scary."
Yeah,
Are we
Yeah.
at the guy? There's one guy that looks around and is like, "Are we at the right show?"
There's like
can we
there's a couple kids trying to start a pit, and everyone's like,
Everyone,
Yeah,
the room
it's-
gasps. Yeah.
It's always interesting the types of shows we get on because of that, for sure. Because it's usually like we'll play a show where we're like the heaviest band because we got paired with like more of the pop punk or like pop or like alt rock bands. And then there's like the opposite, like we're the lightest band on the bill because we got paired with some like heavy
deathcore.
metalcore like or
Yeah.
deathcore bands.
Oh, to see this fucking
It's
pit
always
open
interesting
up.
to see,
right.
what other people listen to us and like draw from our music. Because like some people will be like, oh yeah, they're a pop punk band, and other people will be like, oh yeah, they're like a metalcore band. So let's put
Yeah.
them on this metalcore bill. And so we end up playing with and meeting a lot of different interesting bands.
Right.
There's an intrinsic advantage to that, right? Like we can play with all these other different kinds of bands. We can play punk shows, we can play all rock stuff, we can play the metalcore stuff. Yeah.
We have the catalog for it, which is cool. I mean, we have a bunch of songs, and if we wanted to cater to an audience, we could. But I think we kind of just go out swinging and do what we feel like doing. It's,
Next
yeah.
next show they're gonna open up for a pop act. They're gonna just gonna do it. They're like, all right,
I
guys.
hope so.
And then
I
it's
want to
just
open
like
up
your
for Taylor
band.
Swift.
I was
Yeah,
about to
there
say
you go.
the same
Yeah,
thing.
open up for Taylor
man.
Swift. Philly
At first
date.
I was gonna
Taylor
be like,
Swift.
I
Let's
want to
go.
open up. At first I was like, I want to open up for Kanye, and I was like, wait, no, he's a
No.
terrible person, and he's been canceled, and I forgot the drama for a second. I was like, no, Taylor Swift.
The best show
Yeah.
I've seen this year was Dua Lipa. I'm not lying. It was
Oh, man.
my partner and I went to Primavera this year for the festival, and her set was the best. It was like a tie between The Smile, which is like Tom York's new thing, the Radiohead side project, which is fucking nuts, and fucking Dua Lipa. I did
Oh.
not know what to expect, and it was insane. I was like, holy shit, this is great.
Love me some Dua Lipa.
Nice.
More
So-
pop influences. I mean, I do think that like when Jake and we've been lucky enough that Jake has come up to my place and we've done some writing the past couple weeks, and I feel like we do talk about pop riffs a lot, and like trying to make sure that like we want to write heavy stuff, but we definitely want it to be accessible and have that
Yeah.
like catchy hook, because like I think hooky music is universal. It doesn't really matter the genre,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's definitely something that we're focusing on with the newer stuff.
Mhm.
Like one thing that like I really love the last EP that we did, but I think one thing that we've been trying to kind of improve on is have catchy hooks and choruses. Like one thing that we kind of lack is like a grabbable song structure. And for a while that was kind of intentional for sure. It's like we like doing that. Go from this part to this part, and it's kind of like a story
Mhm.
in a way.
Like a poem, yeah.
But at some point, we kind of want to try this other thing where we're doing more of like the structured pop thing where we have some kind of chorus that repeats with a hook that can like grab someone. So that's what we're kind of trying to do. But and it's been fun so far. It's been like a lot of experimenting, and we're excited to see how it turns out. It's also a new opportunity because I'm doing more singing.
Ooh, okay.
That's something that we kind of added to the last EP a little bit. There's like been a little bit dabbling.
Mhm.
Like Memento is a song with singing, and then there's another like clean singing part at the end of The Masks We Wear. But that's been kind of it. So for the new stuff, we're gonna try and see other ways we can fit it in to kind of like accentuate the hooks that we're trying to bring. So
Yeah,
it's
and
cool.
I think the one thing that Year the Rats I think got really right was that it was more layered than the previous album, and I think the new stuff's even more layered than that. So it's
Yeah,
more layered vocals, more layered guitars, just more layered sounds. Like I don't think it's anything that we can't replicate live, which is cool. And I think that means a lot to us. Like we don't really play with backing tracks.
We don't. There's no
we don't.
really. We don't play with backing tracks.
Any like ambient shit, like weird sounds that you're hearing is coming from us, being made
Yeah.
The
live.
whooshy noises.
Yeah, and I think we're really proud of that. Not to say that there's anything wrong with bands who do that. That's totally cool. It's totally fine. I mean, like you can't hit the crazy, like you can't make your live set sound like the record without doing that a lot of the time, especially if you're a more atmospheric band. But I mean, I know at the very least, Pat and I come from a place of these, like we grew up with these bands like at the drive-in and shit who were just like insane animals on stage,
Yeah.
fucking with all these crazy delays and stuff and making these insane sounds like right there live. And it's weird. And there's like room for the weird experimentation live that you just can't do with a backing track.
Yeah.
And it's different every time too. And
Yeah.
that's I think like with putting on a show, I mean, yeah. I don't like going to see bands that stand there. That does nothing for me. I can go home, I can listen to the album. I want to see something, and that's
Yeah.
where, even at the local level, I remember going to see bands at like, Hamilton Street, Bound Brook, New Jersey, bands like, Bigwig, would light their cymbals on fire. And, you're talking 300 people cap, but it was something special. You're
Yeah.
not getting that on an album, and just doing weird shit live, and it's different every time. It's just, I don't know. It means more, I think, for us to be like, keep that element performing,
Yeah.
and you don't get that with the backing track,
There's a level of like showmanship whenever I see like a band play, and I think some of the more memorable shows, at least in my mind, are the ones where I see a band, they do it all live, and I think that that's what makes it special and unique. Ironically enough, the show that I saw Jake at, the Loads show, they do all of the like instrumentation, like all of that like real like ambient shit live too. And I think that that's such an important and integral role to why I love that album first and foremost, and secondly, I think it's also cool to know that they do that live as well, because I think that adds a
Yeah.
level of like inception in the band and like kind of like being more immersed in it. And so I'm glad you guys obviously take the route of making it, special and unique every time you guys go up on stage. So I can be rest assured when you guys have a show out here in PA, I'm gonna keep my eyes on coming out to see you guys. Certainly. But
2023.
woo, there we go. The next question I have for you guys is what are you listening to more currently? What's on the Spotify? What have you been listening to lately?
Jesus.
I feel like Pat's like, oh no, what am I gonna answer today?
It's like post-hardcore, like scream.
No. It's
Yeah.
fucked up. It's fucked up. So, all right, Sundays are for the girls. I'm going out on a limb. I'm gonna be honest here. Madonna radio every Sunday. Pandora, 100%. Whatever comes through, you get Cyndi Lauper, you get Michael Jackson. I just need that in my life.
Okay, fair
I don't
enough.
know why, but I have a huge like 80s, early 90s like pop influence. I love that. A lot of New England hardcore lately, with like Defeater especially. I mean, they've just been, I don't know, hitting home, especially this time of year. I feel like just Defeater. You got Stick to Your Guns, The Ghost Inside. I mean, those bands, some of their like, especially like their hits, like I don't know, something about the fall, cold, winter, time of year, like that. Just it's just good,
I got you. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not going to dig myself a hole any deeper than I already have. But that's kind of the spectrum, I mean, you go from 80s, 90s pop to, maybe late 2000s, mid 2000s kind of, darker hardcore stuff, and that's where I live. It's depends on the day.
I
Yeah,
feel that.
I'm the same way. Like, I feel like I listen to, I listen to a shitload of jazz. Like, I've been listening to like a lot of Julian Lage. His new album
Ooh,
sounds
yes, he's
amazing.
fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, Oznoy is also insane. His new album's sick. Of course, like Kamasi Washington, like Thundercat is incredible.
Oh,
Like all
yeah.
those dudes, all like the fly low or like Brain Feeder jazz artists, of course. Like I listen to that on one side, and then on the other end, it's like it's like Loath, Invent Animate. Like the new Counterparts album is so freaking good. I listen to a lot of the new Devil Wears Prada album, which is
Yeah,
ridiculously
that's sick.
ridiculously good. And then yeah, a lot of like listen to like a lot of like '90s screamo-y stuff, like Orchid,
Ooh.
Sadia, Rain, what else? Touche Amore, which
Yep.
is, I mean, not '90s, but like uh, contemporary, but like that post-hardcore stuff, emo, screamo, whatever we want to call it.
I do want to just before Jake takes over, I'd want to just fucking shout out like the new Lorna Shore, like holy shit.
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
mean, and that's that spectrum. I mean, they're like queen of like death metal and black metal. Like they have just hit the nail on the head. And listening to them and just seeing them grow over the years, I mean, like it's been awesome. And I'm so into their new stuff. And I'm not, I don't want to say I'm not influenced. I will never write in that realm, but like it moves me. Like that shit is
Oh,
just
yeah.
next level. And it's a really good influence. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean too for that kind of music, it's like somewhat like universal. Because like their guitarist Adam, I mean, they all have pop structure like death chords. You can
I think
kind of
you're.
remember.
Oh,
Sorry, you're cutting out, Jake.
you're cutting out a little bit, Jake.
Repeat.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Nope. Still cutting
still
out.
cutting.
Shit.
We'll edit this.
I'll edit it. Yeah.
Yeah, big edit. Is it back?
Yeah, it's back now.
Three,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Lorna Shore has that very kind of like they use a lot of like pop structures and like they have a lot of those like catchy like repeating parts that you
Mhm.
can latch onto, and then like combine that with just like that super heavy breakdown shit they got going on, like it sucks you right in.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
write their songs like they are a pop band.
Yeah, they're
Pretty much,
very
yeah.
You could easily
structured.
take one of the new Lorna Shore songs and turn it into a pop banger. You could.
Yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
Someone should do
It's
that.
just it's just
Someone
an
should do that. We should do that.
orchestrated, chuggy pop banger with disgusting vocals. That's pretty much what it is.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I feel like Loath does that too.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
when you like dissect their songs and like take out just like the chugginess and just look at like song structure and stuff, they're writing like almost like pop jazz tunes. It's almost
Oh, it's
like
great.
if you're familiar with like the city pop genre, which is like a vaporwave, like Japanese vaporwave from like the '90s. I feel like Loath is writing those tunes, but just like in like minor keys with like really low tuned guitars.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. And then I guess I've had more of like a metalcore, but like also like kind of genty thing or whatever. I don't even know. But I've listened to a lot of like Boundaries, Orthodox, and like Counterparts. So more of like the hardcore and like metalcore kind of mix in there.
Mm.
But I mean, all three of those bands have put out like a new record in like the past like 3 months, and I mean they've just been on like repeat. But there's that, and then there's obviously Invent Animate, which is cranking out stuff, and Silent Planet. So the more
100%.
genty kind of stuff. with like the more like atmospheric stuff, with like all the like the melodic stuff going on over top, with like the heavy droney downs pretty much.
We've
It's
both
sick.
been listening to a lot of the Era self-titled too. I think I haven't
Ooh.
stopped
Yes.
listening to that. I listen to that every week since it released, easily.
Yeah, I got the like the tabs for the album, so I've been like trying to learn a bunch of the songs. And then
Shout out
one
Connor Hess.
Connor
one
Hess,
weird
yeah.
band. Oh gosh, one weird band I've been listening to a lot lately is Electric Callboy, formerly known
Yeah.
as Eskimo Callboy.
Yeah.
That stuff's just like, it's funny, but it's also super catchy. Like it's like these like big techno rock choruses with like a sick like vocal line, and then it's just like a almost like slamcore like breakdown. It's and some of it's serious, a little bit serious, and then some of it's just straight out wacky. Like
That
the
one
lyrics
song,
in that.
yeah, that one song where they did it's kind of like almost like a Eurovision track where it's got like a real like synthy beat, and then they literally like at the end of the song, and I don't want to spoil. I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but
Oh,
the
yeah,
ending of the
Hurricane.
song, yeah, the ending of the song is about the most obscene shit you can think of. In the end of a song, you would never expect it.
Yeah, like it's literally like a Euro beat track, and like all the vocals are like in German.
Yeah,
Like the music
God.
videos, them in like white shirts,
Yeah,
like
they're like-
partying on a
they're like,
yacht with like
yeah.
the wind blowing through their like jacket, and then out of nowhere, it's just like, dun, dun, dun. It's just ridiculous.
and then a bunch of zombies come out and they have
yeah,
have a have a
yeah,
party.
so much of zombies. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
guess I have to see this. Yeah.
it's
That's what I'm doing after this.
well worth it. It's a banger. We
You see,
love
you
it.
talk about this, and I'm just like, I want to go listen to Austrian Death Machine.
Yes.
That's where I go.
I will.
The classics.
Man, I haven't listened to that in a long time.
I gotta give you guys a shout out for like again mentioning like the OG hardcore bands. I had not to plug my own stuff on my own channel here, but I interviewed Silent Drive recently, and they're like
Nice.
they have like members of like Bane and like a bunch of other
Mhm.
hardcore bands and stuff. And it was really
Yeah.
cool talking to Pete. So big love to Pete. He's
That's
awesome. And it was cool catching his ear because I feel like as like kind of I'm like more in the like metalcore like post-hardcore stuff, and I didn't really get into that sort of music until like when I turned like mid-teens, mid to late teens. That's when I really got into it, and so I feel like I missed that whole wave of like post-hardcore from like the early 2000s, like and before that point. So it was really cool picking his brain because he's been doing it for such a long time, and so I have to give that interview a shout because I feel like if you are an OG fan of like hardcore and like post-hardcore, that is one to watch because he gave a lot of really cool like points and obviously bands to check out. And I imagine there's a lot of bands that you listen to like that like are influenced by those bands. So I always try to go back and do my due diligence, you know, as homework. So please go check out Silent Drive. But also, you know, again, while you're there, you might as well check out Hunter Alive. Links below. Go give him some love. But the next question I have for you guys is a fun one. You guys could pick a song to cover. What would it be?
I've been dying for years to cover some Flyleaf, to be honest with you.
Really? That's actually not what I thought you were going to say.
No,
I
Oh,
didn't
you
know
were
what to
gonna say
expect,
I
but
thought you were
it
going to say
was-
System of a Down for sure.
that would be Zach's answer.
Okay.
No,
I'll tell
actually, I
you what.
lied.
No, Zach refuses
Zach-
to cover System of a Down.
Zach specifically, anytime we talk about covering a song as a joke, every single time he's like, dude, we need to do Stockholm Syndrome by Blink-182 every single time. So Zach's
He's dead
not
serious.
here,
He's actually dead serious about that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a meme answer. That's
but
he's like-
but it would be cool. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't blame him. That'd be sick. But like, Zach's not here, so we're gonna give you his answer.
Okay.
yeah, that would be Zach's answer for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Flyleaf would be cool. I think, you know, the era that they were in, like, you know, they're old enough where they deserve a cover from a cool band. And
That's facts.
not that we're a cool band, but
Nah.
I think we would cover the fuck out of Flyleaf, you know, one of their hits.
You guys
I
are
think
a
it would
cool
just be
band.
fun. I really do. I think it'd be fun. That's my vote.
Hunter Alive's a cool band, guys. Don't let them fool you.
I was gonna say like some new metal stuff, probably like Deftones, like Digital Baths or something.
Woo! All right.
Something, yeah, just like I feel like we tap into some of that with some of our stuff, and it would just be really. I think we're all into new metal, like everyone in the band, in some capacity.
Sure.
And I feel like new metal is also having a time right now.
It is. It is.
It's having a big resurgence, and
A
it's like a
moment.
good time. Or even like some Linkin Park, I think could be really cool. Like Hybrid Theory or something would be really sick and like super fun. Yeah.
I'm about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I probably would have said Linkin Park. They were like a big part of what got me to metal, and I don't know. I feel like there is like a huge new wave, like new metal wave right now, with like a lot of like the new wave being more like blended with core, like coming back.
Oh yeah.
Like definitely in bands like Alpha Wolf. Like Alpha Wolf is kind of at like the front of that. I feel
It's
right
like
now.
Spirit Box.
Spirit Box.
Spirit
Yeah.
Box too,
Yep.
yeah. Especially with the new songs they
Yeah.
put out, they're very like new metally, like
Mhm.
a lot of like Corn vibes in there.
Yeah, like
For sure.
rotoscope.
Code Orange is taking that a little too
Yeah.
seriously. They've got it to like full meme status. But
They kind of like
They took the meter and just kept pressing it until
they've just gone
Yeah.
full Slipknot.
in like the video games where like the needle goes up and once it gets to the green zone, you're supposed to hit it. And then like the needle keeps going, and if you don't, you just get in like the red zone and you hit it.
that's
late.
where they're at. They're in
That's
the red
what Code
zone.
Orange did. Yeah, they were like
Yeah.
approaching the green zone, and we're like, great, and then they just like
They completely missed it.
forgot to hit X. Yeah,
They were just like,
Yep.
no, we're going all the way. And they did. They have been. So shout outs to Code
Yeah.
Orange. Much salutes. They're great.
They're great.
They are great.
They're insane. Their live shows fucking.
I'll always love their back catalog for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll still see them.
They do put on a good live show, like even if you don't like the new stuff, like live.
Yeah,
their new
exactly.
stuff's better live than it is on like Spotify. That's just
I
the
got
way it
I got
works.
nothing nice to say about Code Orange. So.
I will say the only thing that I relatively know about Code Orange was I saw a clip of, I guess, the either guitar player or somebody had picked up someone and literally like threw them out into the crowd, and I was just like, that's kind of badass. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, obviously I wouldn't want to get thrown, so Code Orange, don't throw me at a
I
show.
feel like
Thank
people
you.
at a Code Orange show, you kind of go there to get thrown.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It's like
Like,
basically a wrestling match.
like you go to see Steve Aoki to get cake on your face.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Facts.
like you
Right.
come home from a Code Orange show, like, oh my gosh, you can't believe what happened. He threw me into the crowd.
If you went to a WWE show and you got hit by the chair, that's probably the best day of your whole life.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
That's like the equivalent level. You know, if you get thrown at a Code Orange show, it's like getting smacked with a chair at a WWE wrestling event. Just
And
remember that,
honestly,
guys.
They're not very far apart. Those
Yeah.
two things are not. That,
It's just a wrestling match with music. That's what I
Yeah.
realized. You know, which is
fun-
I mean, sounds like a
pretty
good
fun
time. Yeah.
It's a good
I
time.
mean,
Didn't Code Orange literally write one of the entrance themes for WWE?
I
wrestlers?
believe so.
Yep,
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
certainly did.
it's canon. It's
So,
canon, guys.
It's canon.
Just want to let you
yeah,
know,
they-
on this interview, we confirmed it's canon. So, not on an interview with Code Orange, Hunter Alive's interview. So, you know it's legit. So, but anyway, guys, if you have any. Oh, go ahead, Rohan.
I was gonna say I would also be down to cover like a Bring Me the Horizon or early Under Oath track.
Yes.
Ooh.
100%. That would be sick.
I feel like
Yeah.
Pat is being nominally silent for that answer.
I feel like
I
you'd be
had,
into
like-
that.
No. I'd be down. I'm stuck on Flyleaf, but I would 100%. They got it. I feel like, maybe if Hunter Alive started, 20 years ago, we'd end up like Flyleaf. But
They're back together.
Yeah,
They're the
They're
original
back
singer.
together again. So
I know, all more reason.
Go to
all
Vegas.
more
To
reason.
that new metal show. I forgot what.
that
Sold out.
shit was sold
Sold
out.
out because Flyleaf's on it.
Is it sold out?
Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
of course it is.
Man, Pat is
But,
really selling hard for this Flyleaf song. I just want to let you know.
Dude, I'm telling you, Sundays are for the girls. Lacey's got a special thing right here. I think it would be cool, and I just think they do a lot of cool. They do have like a lot of cool atmospheric stuff, and
That's
even
true.
to like vamp it up with like Hunter Alive, I think it could. I think it just could be special, but it would probably be more of a recording than something we would ever do live, and I think that would go for any like cover. I think if we were to cover a song, it would be, kind of like a one-off, something that we would just release, unless it took off some, but more for fun.
There we go. Well, guys, if you have any suggestions for Hunter Alive, drop them in the comments. If you say Flyleaf, I'm pretty sure Pat would hug you virtually through the computer. So
They're gonna suggest guitar lessons. I guarantee it.
Jeez.
Brutal.
Play some Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you
Funny
get good
enough,
at writing
I
your
used to
original
play-
music?
I used to love playing the Flyleaf song in Rock Band to get my buddy to sing it because he couldn't, because it was fairly because you have to like sing it in an upper register. And
Yeah, you do.
His voice would be cracking all over the place. It was awful, and he was just dying the entire time. And he would lose his voice every time. And yeah, we would pick that song specifically to torture him.
Jake, I challenge you to cover a Flyleaf song. At least vocals. Pick one, and we'll just see how.
You gotta do
what
I'm
happens.
So
I'll
Sick.
just do like, I mean, we're doing it in our style, so I'll just do like oonga boonga vocals the whole time.
So we'll not only upset our fans, but also the fans. Sick.
Big fuck you to this, which we love. We love you, Scene.
Yeah, we do.
Meanwhile, Jake's just like, yeah, so I'm gonna fuck this song up, but get ready. So stoked.
Get ready.
Yep.
So
Well, I don't know. I feel like it would be better to fuck it up with like doing the wrong type of vocal than to do the right type of vocal and absolutely butcher it.
I mean,
like,
that's
what's his
fair.
name? The fucking God, the jackass from Puddle of Mud who tried to cover Nirvana.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like I'd rather do.
You
I
can't
would've,
be
like,
that bad.
I would have
No.
rather done like oonga boonga vocals.
No
in
one's
that
gonna be
weird
that
acoustic
bad.
cover than that.
No, but just imagine the views. You know what I mean? You can get big off being shitty, and Puddle of Mud proved that.
Puddle of
You know?
shit, guys. Just get ready.
Puddle of shit.
Puddle of shit. Let's go. Anyway, that's the song they're gonna cover next, but they're gonna be covering Nirvana's cover of Puddle of Mud's cover. So he's gonna do it in the same style. God, this is
Yeah,
Yeah,
terrible.
we're gonna be playing a dude, playing another dude. Dude.
This is cursed. This is cursed, guys. We
like
need to
it.
stop talking about it, or a black hole is just gonna whip behind me and suck me in. So, very excited. The next question I have for you guys is another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat?
Rohan, you go for it.
Favorite food? That's a really tough question because I love food in general,
Fair.
and I'm not picky. I'll
right.
eat almost anything. So Jake, here you go ahead. I'll have to think about it.
It changes a lot, but like right now, I don't know why, but over the last like 4 weeks, I've had to fend off like weird, insatiable like McDonald's quarter pounder cravings. Like straight up, I don't know like what it is. Like before that, it was pizza, which is a totally normal one to have. But like why specifically like McDonald's quarter pounders? It just like started creeping up on me, and like I have to like constantly try and shut it down. Although I gave in earlier this week.
It's Wednesday.
You're like, I have to shut it
Earlier
down,
this week.
and you're like Monday.
Yeah, it was Sunday.
Oh, see, there you go. I was right. Close.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right.
The day of Sabbath, I'm just eating burgers on the futon.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. It's chill vibes.
Sunday girl vibes, if you ask me.
I probably have to go with like give like a general answer of like Southeast Asian food, like Thai, Indonesian, Malaysian. I'm Sri Lankan, so like
Hey.
it's actually Sri Lankan food's more similar to that than just like Indian foods. It's like a lot of coconut curries and stuff. It's very spicy. I love the heat. But yeah, usually some kind of like fish and noodles or like a curry kind of thing is what I'm about. Make it hotter. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, anything from that part of the world, I'm pretty much into. I really like minutes. So to get to Sri Lanka, you have to go through Singapore, or you used to have to for like a cheap flight because it's
Mhm.
like really fucking long. So that's like the cheap way to get there. So we'd always have to stop in Singapore. We usually stop for a few days. My dad used to do some business. He used to work for Bell Labs, like a phone company, and do like some stuff there. So we'd stop. We'd be there for a few days, and we got to like dig into like all the noodle dishes and stuff like laksa and um, the Singapore the crab curry there is like unreal, and that's probably my favorite. If I had to pick like one dish, it'd be like the Singapore style crab curry. It's like insane. It's so fucking hot, and when you eat it, you definitely. I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist, but I'm pretty sure I may have seen him when experiencing that level of sustained heat for so long.
Jesus.
It's a good time.
Rohan's like in the hospital bed. They're like, he's been in a coma
Like,
for like 5 days now. We've been really trying to get him out.
I can't forget Korean food. Like I fucking love Korean food. Also, it's also wildly spicy, and a lot of soju is drunk while eating very spicy food. So you're like drinking and you're like getting drunk, and it's also hot. So there's like the vapors and the heat of it's just like a lot. It's a lot of sensations all at once. And I live for that. That's great.
You live for like being on the verge of shitting your pants.
You know,
Like,
none
that's
of
what you
those
just
none of
said.
those things have
Yeah.
ever made me shit my pants. None of those things. It's always like
Dude, I just
gas
shit my pants.
station,
I just
gas
shit my
station
pants listening to
burgers,
you.
gas
It's always
station burgers.
McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Taco Bell is like a guaranteed way. I know it's like
Oh,
a meme.
yeah.
It's like a total meme, right? People are like, "Oh, Taco Bell doesn't make you shit." No, Taco Bell actually literally makes me shit every time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
within 2 hours of eating,
Same.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Top 10 laxative betrayals.
Yeah.
It's in Mojo's top 10, actually.
This is a
Yeah.
great segue to my favorite food.
White
So-
Castle.
Dude, yes! I'm giving that some spirit fingers. Love White Castle, dude.
Oh, Jake
Um,
killed it. Oh.
All right, so I live in South Carolina, and
Woo.
there are no White Castles here, and it is a fucking just orgasm every time I go back to Jersey, and I shove those things in my mouth. They're phenomenal. If I don't get White Castle, I mean, I'm a nacho. I'm easy. Give me a fucking like nachos with gooey cheese, not that melted shit. I want a cheese sauce. I could live on that. Give me a plate of chocolate chip cookies. If I ever had addiction in my life, I'd mainline chocolate chip cookies every day. And that's it. I love food and I appreciate the culture, but yeah, chocolate chip cookies, nachos, White Castle. Hashtag fat fuck. Diabetes.
Yeah. Obesity. No.
Yeah.
No, I feel that every time I have to break the craving of. I also have to agree with Rohan. Every time I get Taco Bell, it's like hours later, I'm just like, God, I got fucking shit right now. You know, it's terrible.
Here's the thing, I still eat it.
I still eat it. Yeah, it's great. I love it. Delicious.
I've only been to Taco Bell like twice in my life.
Damn.
I've just had no desire to go back. Like the second time, I was like, this was mediocre food, and I like shit my brains out for what?
The only thing good to come from Taco Bell is a cheesy gordita crunch. That's the only thing on their menu that's
Ooh,
worth
he's right.
like
He's right.
$2.35. That's it.
Crunchwrap Supremes are great. Yeah, I agree.
Nah.
All right, Rohan and I
Cheesy
are gonna go
gordita
grab
crunch.
some Crunchwraps after this. So let's
I
go.
just do like the hipster thing and go to Chipotle.
Yeah, you and Chris, man. Chris, shout
I
out to
Oh,
my
Chipotle
boy
man.
Chris.
today.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, dude, we
Chipotle makes me shit my pants.
I don't know. We
Totally
lived in
also
Doyle.
makes me shit my pants.
We lived in Doylestown, like a rich white area with no Taco Bell.
That's
of course
true.
we go to Chipotle.
That's facts.
Chipotle is like the Starbucks of Mexican food.
Oh,
Right?
100%.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
100%. Yeah, but here's
Yeah.
the thing.
But I still
I
fuck with
also like Starbucks. Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's like the greatest coffee, but
Yeah.
I fuck with it.
No.
I'll
It's
drink
just
it.
like, yeah, right.
If it's
I tried
presented
it
to me.
today.
Wow.
Jake
Killer.
used to work. You just literally used to work at Starbucks.
Yeah. So that's how I know CJ, which
Shouts
in
to
the end is how I know Brandon.
Wow, full circle moment here, guys.
Whoa.
You
Circle.
only get it here. Only get it here.
Yeah, I got CJ
Misconnection.
his job at Starbucks, and
Sick.
that
Hook
yeah.
up.
And
Misconnections.
now he works with Brandon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
It's
That's
amazing how
facts.
many like shit stories come full circle, and it's like, loops everybody in. It
Yeah.
really.
And
It's
it
always a
actually
good one.
revolved around shit this time. It wasn't
That's
actually a
what I'm
joke.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
So remember,
Everybody poops. It's very human.
shit brings people. No, I can't even fucking finish this sentence. I'm not gonna. You already know where I was gonna go with that one. So
Dude, that's one I will say. It's one of the best things about being in this band is like, I don't know.
shit's
No.
Shit is the best.
No, but like it's like I feel like so many typical like metal bands or core bands or whatever, they all have this persona, that like they're hard and edgy and whatnot. And it's just like when we're together, when we're we're in the studio for 5 days straight in a row. I mean, it's nothing but farts and shit jokes and dick jokes. I mean, we just let it all out. And I think like that's the coolest thing about being in this group is like when we're together, we're just like our inner kid just comes out. We
It's
have
the homies.
so much fucking fun. We
I
do.
got you. The vibes.
I love that.
It's just
I
shit.
really do.
Shit brings people together, guys. Remember that. It's a crucial takeaway in this interview.
Farts are forever funny. Shit brings people together.
Yeah.
I am much more likely to be irresponsible when hanging out with the band.
I love how you said the band, but I know that was directed at me.
Pat brings out the poop jokes and all of us.
Anyway, guys, we're going to move it on to the next question, which is one of my favorite questions I like to ask is if you guys could pick somebody to collaborate on an up-and-coming Hunter Alive record, who would you love to have on a track?
So
I have an
say
answer for this
Brennan
one.
Murphy or what?
I was actually going to shout out a friend of the band, Pat from a band called Varia.
Yes.
They are a Virginia like metalcore, but like they're like on the poppier side.
Good.
Their vocalist Pat has the voice of an angel. His cleans are fucking nuts. He's like if Johnny Craig was sober and not a dickhead.
That is the
he
best
is-
explanation.
For the record, Johnny Craig is sober now.
So he's not a dick.
dickhead.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's still a
Sure he
dickhead.
is.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. They definitely sound like they've got like they're like Slaves if like Slaves was like a little heavier and had like more of the breakdown stuff, but like they've hooked us up with a lot of shows down in Virginia. They've given us a lot of opportunities to play with them, which is really really dope. Thanks, Pat. We appreciate you. We love you, and we would love. I think it would be really dope to feature him on one of our tracks. I think he's got
Let's
they have
go,
like
Pat.
a perfect vibe, and we're like I'd say we're like sibling bands, you know.
I agree. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude's just got the most like tuned voice, like live, full band behind you, no monitors, and this dude is like belting every note, like
He's fucking hitting
note for
the
note
tune,
straight on,
like,
barely being able to hear himself. Like I don't know, he's one of the most like talented vocalists I've like
and
met.
consistent. Like every song's fucking consistent. He doesn't lose his voice. Like he has the technique nailed. He's a force. Yeah, he's really really
What a
talented,
workhorse.
talented guy. Yeah. Mhm. Check out Varia. They have a new album out, by the way.
They're great.
It is fire. Please go check it out. Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
Can confirm. It is good.
I agree with that comment. It's always been a dream of mine. I would love to work with John Feldman. Whether he produced a track or just fucking, listened to anything we did and gave us some feedback. I don't know. I think everything he touches is just gold. I love John Feldman, and if you're listening, if you're watching, support me.
Pat said
Love
that.
me, damn it.
Pat said that in the most
Notice me
sensual way. I
senpai.
think I could feel that. You know, in my felt a little pitter patter in my chest. You know. So
Oh yeah.
there you go. Love it. Jake, is your answer also Varia?
I mean, I would say Brennan Murphy of Counterparts, just because I love him and I love their music and they're Canadian. So
I was gonna
I'm
say,
repping-
repping Canada.
repping Canada.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're from my dad's hometown.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
Shout out to
Hey.
Yeah, so
Hamilton.
shout out to Counterparts and shout out to my dad.
Shouts to Jake's dad. Jake's dad's gonna be on the track instead of Brendan. He's filling in. So screams from Jake's
Same town,
dad.
they got the same vibe.
Yeah, same
for
vibe.
sure.
Same scream.
It's like
Yeah.
my dad's like a Brennan Murphy without hair. So.
Exactly. You got
If you
it.
hear vocal
got
overdubs in our tracks, that's actually not Jake dubbing again. That's Jake's dad.
Okay, cool. Very sick. All right. Shout
He's
kudos,
like
kudos to
Jake.
Jake's dad. He sounds just like him. It's
Just like him.
almost like he's his dad. It's wild.
Yeah.
This is a crazy concept. But
It's really
guys,
strange.
listen, Hunter Alive, X Counterparts, X Varia, X John Feldman. You have to go on Twitter, tag all of these bands, and then say collaboration. And listen, I'm not a legal scholar. I didn't go to law school, but I want to say that it's out there. So like if you want to support it, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. You could do what you want with it, but it would be kind of sick. So
I will say this: if you say "triple dog dare you," it's a instant legally binding contract
yeah,
that everyone has to do it.
yeah. So
Or
guys,
they're erased.
this is a triple dog. This is it. So now you have to. You're obligated to, and I need to know if you've done it. So tag me as well. That'd be very sick. The next question I have for you guys is a personal favorite of mine. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm a huge nerd, so I love asking this question. If you guys could be a video game character, who would you be?
Have to be video game.
Or like comic book nerd character.
You can't say like James Bourne. Like
No. I mean, I'm like a ridiculous Lord of the Rings, Hobbit.
That would
nerd.
count.
There's
That
plenty
counts.
of Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
video games.
I was gonna
feel
say,
like
yeah.
every single character in Lord of the Rings has probably been featured in a video game once.
Yes.
I mean, there are Lord of the Rings video games,
Yeah.
Hobbit video games, but
Some of them are really fucking good.
Yeah.
they are.
I'll give
I
you the
played them
pass,
all,
Pat.
but-
All right. Jeez. He was really
But no,
trying to
I don't
preface
know.
his answer with that. He's like, "So, could I like make it a movie character?" And I'm just like, there's like Lord of the. And then he was like, "Yeah, I know there's Lord of the Rings video games," and I was just like,
But I mean, like you're talking video games. You want to like go like staples, you know?
I
mean, like, really,
got you, but I
You know?
appreciate the forethought. I'm gonna give you the pass on it.
I don't know. I think I'm just gonna say like I would just be like a fucking hobbit, man. Like I don't need to be anything special. I don't need superpowers. Just give me like an unlimited supply of something, oak, and like the relaxing, green life. Maybe a little bit of water, maybe some friends. I don't really give a shit. Beer. I think encapsulate me in that life. I'm good. I don't really care what I am.
I like that answer.
Somebody else speak, because now it's just weird silence.
I'll cut
just
out the
want to
dead
be
air.
Dildo Baggins.
Pretty much. Yeah. I just want to be dildo baggins.
That's his Hobbit name.
Ron, you want to go?
I guess I would say I'm gonna go with the Doom guy
Yeah.
because I feel like there's like amazing music just pumping through his helmet all the time.
Some
and
Mick
it's just,
Gordon,
like,
baby.
super fucking brutal. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
It's got
about
most
you,
incredible.
Hugo?
Dude, Hugo. I mean, yeah, Duke Nukem is cool, but he's also got like kind of problematic, right? Like, he's like
Yeah.
it's like.
I mean,
he's like,
he would
more,
definitely
he's like
get-
more than a little problematic. I think.
That's being nice.
I mean, if he was
definitely
real,
get, like-
he would have been canceled. Like,
He would have been canceled. I was just trying to say that.
I mean, I don't think I want that.
Let us know,
I
guys.
don't
Is
know.
Duke Nukem canceled if he was real? I need to know
I
down
don't
below.
know. I mean,
I'll have to see.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like he's going around, like you're hitting spacebar, like asking for him to shake it. I don't know, man. That's not like that gets you canceled in
Yeah,
2023 for sure.
it's not kosher, you know.
No, but
Yeah.
yeah, the Doom guy. Also, like it's like top of mind because I'm like way behind on the video game curve, and I just played Doom 2016, and it's like fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's so good, and I mean the guys have been telling me how good it is for years, and I just played it, and
It's
yeah,
all
it's
right.
crazy good. So yeah, and like he's just a badass, right? He's like
literally sawing through
jacked, he's fucking
fucking like
yoked and just goes around chainsawing
Yoked.
demons. I mean, yeah, that's like he also gets to like explore Mars, and that's cool.
So do hobbits.
Wait, what?
such,
So do hobbits.
such conversely different answers. It's great. I love it. Jake, what are you gonna throw into the ring?
I was trying to think. I've been playing like a bunch of like Resident Evil lately, which is I feel like the worst kind of character to be because like you're instantly just getting like fucked by zombies, and like Leon is a total tool, so probably not that. And I've been playing that so much, I'm like blindsided. I can't remember like the past games I played in the past few years, so I'm gonna throw it all the way back. I want to be the Dovahkiin, fucking
Oh, yeah.
Skyrim legend. Dude, I loved that game so much, and I mean, like, not like I don't still play it or like didn't start a new save in the last year, but it's
There-
just like sick. Go around, slay dragons, do whatever you want, start a home, explore some dungeons.
I feel
It's
like
fun.
Jake's answer is like directly in the middle of Pat's and Rohan's. Pat is like the like chill side of the spectrum. Jake's like kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll kill sometimes, that's fine. And then Rohan's just like, fuck yeah, and then just zooms through some like Mars
Chainsaws and
demons. Yeah,
annihilation.
yeah. Respect. You guys got the range, you know. So much appreciated, you know. So
Mhm.
next question
yeah.
next question I have for you guys: if you were to compile a dream tour lineup including Hunter Alive, who would be on it?
Think if we were playing like if it's like in the future and like we had already worked through some of the new stuff that we're working through, I would say like it would probably have to include counterparts, loathe maybe because I think some of our new stuff taps into that energy.
All right, all right.
Can you imagine like counterparts, Loathe, Norma
Like-
Jean, like the ghost inside?
That's
Well,
that'd be pretty
someone's
wild.
gotta hang out with me. The old fucking Tori and I are probably like the same age. You know, I gotta talk to somebody about my fucking back problems and like my feet hurting. You know,
Fair enough. Fair enough.
over here like just comparing AARP cards and shit. You know,
I got this real sick discount on shoes recently.
yeah. I got these sweet ace bandages.
Or I'd go like a different direction entirely and say like I'll just group us with a bunch of Swancore bands.
Yeah, that could be fun. Yeah.
Because like I feel like we could kind of go either way.
All right, respect.
Especially since some of the newer Swancore stuff is becoming more melodic and it's like maybe a little
Yeah.
bit less kind of schizophrenic and a little bit more focused.
Yeah.
I think we can hang with some of those.
Like
Okay,
Idola
like-
and like
Ooh.
Wolf
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
Bear.
do it for sure. Yep. Yeah, even like some of the new Hail the Sun stuff. I think.
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
The newer stuff that we're writing that has more clean vocals, it's more melodic. I think kind of lives in that world. I mean, like, I aspire it to live in that world. You know, like I would love to be able to hang with either group of those bands. You know, equally. That's like for me, that's like a dream. It's like a dream goal.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
for me, it's probably less about like what bands do we sound like that would be sick for an audience, but this dream line up isn't for the fans. This dream lineup is for me and the people that I
True.
want to hang out with and play a show with. So
That's actually
yeah.
true.
I mean, I'm on the kind of the same boat as Rohan with those bands. Like that would be sick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Actually, at the end of the day, we want a lineup of people who we can really chill hard with.
Oh, I also want Greyhaven on mine,
Oh, shit, I
Yeah.
totally forgot. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
which is funny because we played a show with them.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah, there's
They were doing like a DIY tour, and like they came around and we got on the bill. It was like a weekday. And
Whoa,
it was
whoa,
kind of
whoa,
like
whoa, whoa, whoa.
slow, but
I need you to back that up a bit. So, did you guys play at a VFW hall in Hamilton?
no.
Damn it.
No,
Because that's where I saw them.
We played at Dingbats in New Jersey before it got canceled.
Oh, okay.
And now
Fair
it's
enough.
uncanceled allegedly, but I don't know who fuck knows.
It's a gray area.
Yeah. Poor taste.
It depends who you ask. The
Right.
the more forgiving people have uncanceled it, but like the diehards are still.
I'm not
You know
going
how
there.
cancel culture is.
Yeah.
I meant
It'd
more
be
about
cool
the
to-
grade joke. Like, because you said, never mind. I'm
Oh.
not going to.
Very punny. We're a very
Yeah.
punny
There we go.
band.
Yeah.
We do that a lot by accident.
It was a happy coincidence. Pat, what were you going to say? I rudely cut you off.
No. I think like touring, I think would be awesome, as you mentioned before. Not because we sound like them, but just because they have longevity and such great sing-alongs. I could only imagine the crowd, and I've always enjoyed seeing them. Would be Silverstein.
Yeah.
I think touring with Silverstein would be just awesome. So much fun. They have a great crowd, a great discography.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be really cool, and I'm sure they could teach us, a lot of cool things, and they'd be one, that I wouldn't normally suggest. They're not my go-to by any means for listening, but as a band that I like really respect for somebody who's done what they've done for as long as they have, and fuck yeah, Silverstein would be awesome to tour with.
I would love that. I think I would, guys, the pre-sale tickets are already in the bio already, so they're going to be touring with Silverstein in 2023. Big ups to Hunter Alive. I can't believe they, were able to cut out time in their massively huge world tour schedule to, hang out with me. So much love, So they're going to be out with Silverstein for the entire year. Kind of rad, honestly. So I'm manifesting this shit. I feel like it's gonna happen. You might as well get Shane told. Shane, listen, I know you watch my stuff. Come on, bud. Let's make it happen. Slide into those DMs. Let's make it work. But the next question I have for you guys is, we kind of touched on it a little earlier. But in your opinion, who puts on a great live performance in terms of the bands you've seen before?
All right, straight up. I mean, they're not here anymore, but Dillinger Escape Plan,
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
I saw them with Code Orange. It's
Jesus.
one of their final shows.
I'm
and
surprised you're alive.
That show is. I almost died because I had to tie my shoe. It was rough,
Yeah.
but that show was just insane.
Oh yeah.
They've kind of been on. They were kind of like the front of the wave of that. You'll break everything on stage, go insane, like in the early 2000s. That like the Chariot kind of like picked
Yep.
up that mantle when they came around.
Dude, the
Bands
Chariot
like that.
live show is so fucking crazy. It's so good. They're
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Can't
all
agree.
those bands like in the Chariot world too. Yeah, Torture, the Bane, the Banner, like all those fucking bands just go so hard. They're so good. Like Converge, Monolith's War, like all those guys. I feel like are doing that around at the same time, and it was a good time for hardcore.
Oh yeah.
And even like the chaotic math hardcore
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Was just like they just went insane on stage.
Yeah.
Also, I'll throw Let Live into that mix as well.
Oh
They,
yeah, Let
Absolutely.
Live 100%.
woo, spicy.
Fever,
Fever,
even,
yep.
RP, and
Yeah.
even like the Fever, like aside things like Night Versus
Yes.
live set is so fucking tight, so good.
Nuts.
They crush it. Even when they're doing like the super technical guitar stuff, like Nick is out there just like he makes it seem so easy. I mean, I watch all of Nick DiPiero's fucking Instagram videos.
Me
and
too.
shit. He's like
Yeah.
a guitar
So
hero
good.
for me for sure. Yeah. And Eric and Proto is one of the best living drummers I think of our time, especially in like the metal genre.
I would agree. Yeah.
Yep. I saw them at a tiny club in Brooklyn a couple years ago, and Eric, the ceilings are really low at this place. It's the Kingsland. And the
Okay, yeah.
ceiling's probably maybe only like 9 feet off the ground or so. This dude jumps up on the throne, and then he jumps up on the I-beam in the ceiling, and he grabs it, and he starts climbing the ceilings like fucking Spider-Man during a guitar solo, and then backflips off the I-beam back into the drum set, and it goes back into his drum solo. I was like, what did I even just see? He was like crawling around the ceiling like a fucking demon, like just like hissing, and she's like, ah. I was like, this is insanity. What? He's like a gymnast? I don't even know what I was seeing.
He stuck the landing. Everybody
That
starts
was-
doing the
That
applause.
was
Like
crazy.
numbers come up. They're like 10 out
Like,
of 10.
I'm winded after just playing like stuff on the guitar. This guy's doing like gymnastics. Dude, I don't know.
I just need to know what his cardio routine is, you know? That's
Right?
like
I,
my man's going for it.
yeah, fucking wild. I think my favorite bands to see live are like have been the same bands for the longest time, or like Converge, and also the Mars Volta / At the Drive-In. Actually just saw the Mars Volta on their like reunion tour. They're
Nice.
just
Yeah.
as fucking good now as they were 15 years ago. Just absolutely crushed it. It's probably the best show I've seen in the past 5 or 7 years or so, easily.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Pat?
Yeah, I'd have to say, as far as like showmanship and like theatrics go, I love seeing AFI live. They always deliver. You know, everyone's moving around. The energy's always there, and you could probably I say the same thing like for Under Oath. You know, they put on a great live show, and especially the things that they've done over the last few years, and you know, really getting like their lighting and
Yeah.
you know, their theatrics too are great. And you know, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I think 30 Seconds to Mars. I've played with them before. I've seen them a few times, and they just deliver. Every crowd. I've played with them in a 500 cap room, and I've seen them. You know, worked with them, and they just always. They're just phenomenal performers, and they're always on point. So
Did Jared Leto pay you to say that?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
no,
This is a
Are-
safe space. You can be
are-
honest.
no,
are you in his
dude,
cult? Are you in the Leto cult?
maybe.
What does
But,
the Kool-Aid taste like?
but no,
Is it grape?
I saw / played with him at Bamboozle years and years ago,
Ooh,
and
bamboozle.
you know, I watched him like climb the fucking scaffolding, or you know, the stage. I mean, the dude was like 30 feet up in the air with a microphone, just singing over everybody, and that memory will always like live. You know, like the same thing with like Davey Havoc, who's still crowd walks on people and is held up in the middle of the fucking crowd,
Yep.
just screaming and singing his guts out. I mean, that's just awesome. That energy's awesome.
I mean, yeah, Jared Leto probably drank the blood of like 5 cult members before he did that. That's why
my
he
blood,
had the
dude.
energy, dude.
Yeah, he drank my blood, right?
He was just
Fucking
gonna
tapped
float in the
to the
air.
back of the neck.
He was gonna float in the air like Stranger Things, you know?
Dude, I would.
Yeah.
That would have been sick. Best stage presence ever. But I do have to agree. I love seeing Under Oath. I want to say their keyboardist Chris is just a fucking
Pete.
psycho. This dude, I love seeing Chris. He's just like shaking the fucking keyboard. Like my man goes in.
He's
You
a
see
and he's
them with,
fucking giant.
Yes, he is
Is
massive.
not like you don't put him and a keyboard together and like think it works. It doesn't. You know, like that's not your instrument.
I was literally thinking he was just gonna pick the keyboard up and just fucking throw it out into the crowd and then just fucking
Yeah,
just
dude's doing
stage
like
bomb.
Oonga Boonga on
Yeah.
the keyboard.
Yeah, he is. Chris is very much doing the Oonga Boonga on the keyboard. So big shout outs to
Did you see
Chris.
them? Do you see them earlier this year, Brandon?
I did not, unfortunately, but
They played
I.
with Spirit Box. It was so.
Oh man, I'm trying to go to
That
that
was one of the
Spirit
better
Box
shows this
headliner.
year.
Honestly, the one that's in
Yeah.
Philly. That's looking. I mean, after the burial. I mean, come on. Woo. And Spirit Box, come on.
Classic.
Please sign
I
me
will
up.
say too. Every time I die, they fuck.
Oh.
They used to fuck. I don't fuck anymore, but they fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I I single-handedly look at Andy and I'm just like, man, I swear to God, if this guy just jumps out into the crowd, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be at least like 10 dead people. That
It's
man is.
unwrapped. $5,000. They broke it. I'll take 5,000 for it.
What is this? A WhatsApp? What is this? Like a fucking like? All right, guys, I have this signed album. You can buy it right now for $5. Okay, I see the bid. $5. Okay, Rohan's got $5. All right, Pat. What do you got, Pat? $10. $10. Okay, Pat's got $10. Oh, okay. We got. Wait. We got someone on the phone. Oh, okay. They're watching the live stream. All right. $20. $20 from my man.
Look, I'll do you this.
But wait, there's more.
$1 if you act now, but $5,000 shipping and handling takes.
Yeah. If you don't,
Man,
ask,
that's a deal.
$5,000.
That's a deal. I might have to take him up on that, guys. You have to check back later. That seems like some solid business practice, if you ask me. So,
Yeah.
kudos.
Drop a Discogs link on the street.
Yeah. We'll
Just see like the bar graph go all the way up. Who fucking paid $5,000 for this shit?
Well, it was $1.
It was $1, so it just tanks. Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" I guess everybody's selling off this lot. But yeah, no, I love seeing Under Oath. They're very similarly to Jake. I was also sheltered in my early youth, so I could only listen to like Christian metalcore bands. So Under Oath was one of those bands that really got me into the scene early on. So, and I have a lot of respect for them. I actually, funnily enough, right behind my web camera, I have a poster of Under Oath when they broke up. So I have that enshrined in my room here. So don't come to my house and try to steal off my wall. I will make sure to you'll never see the light of day again. Just want to let you know.
You sell that for $5,000.
Vintage Under Oath poster, $5,000.
This vintage Under Oath poster. They said they were canceled, but they're not. Oh no, I couldn't do it. But the next question I have for you guys: favorite TV show, favorite movie.
I'll go right now. But what I'm into right now, I'm watching a lot of Letterkenny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Repping Canada.
Yep.
Canada. I mean, of course, I'll touch back on again all that Lord of the Rings stuff. That hits home. That's deep for me. But I could go in and be weird and talk about how cool, like, B horror movies are. I'm not like that. I'm Letterkenny. I'm Lord of the Rings, and I'm nothing special. I like fun, and that's about it.
I feel that.
I don't know. I think for me, it would probably be like the Matrix movie series, because like when I was a kid, like I didn't get to watch like a lot of like gory like nowadays parents will just like, oh, Timmy, for your 10th birthday, I bought you like Call of Duty and Doom. Like I would have never gotten that like for my 10th birthday. Like, but like when I was like about that age, I remember like I was staying at like the neighbor's house, and my friend was like, I want to watch The Matrix. And my friend's parents were like, you have to check with your parents. And I went back, and my parents actually said yes. So like,
wow,
that was like the first like big action movie that I kind of like ever saw, at least that I can like remember, other than maybe some like Batman kind of stuff. But like The Matrix is like a whole nother level. And since then, I've rewatched it all. I mean, the fourth one, I checked it out and it kind of ruined it for me. So I try and like block it out. But The Matrix, for sure.
What about TV show, Jake?
Yeah, TV show, Jake. Got one?
TV show?
Other than Letterkenny.
Or another Canadian show.
Honestly, I feel like I haven't been
No
watching.
McDonald.
I haven't been watching or rewatching a lot of TV series lately. It's honestly just been like a lot of like Family Guy.
Fair enough,
So
yeah.
Maybe Family Guy, just because it's something I can watch no matter what mood I'm in, and it always hits.
I like that. Rohan, what you got?
TV show. So, favorite syndicated TV show is probably Always Sunny. It's just like a classic. It's always good. It's like we can always put, like my partner and I can always put it on anytime, and it's always like a good vibe. But like favorite in like overall is probably Ghost in the Shell standalone complex is like by far my favorite. It's like it's my favorite like anime thing ever made, but it's one of my favorite like pieces of media
Mm-hmm.
ever fucking made. It's like yeah, it like changed the way I view the world. Which I feel like is like it's like the highest compliment I could give anything. And then favorite movie, it's like a toss up between Office Space, just like classic Mike
Yes.
Judge.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
And like the OG Star Wars series, like the
Ooh.
first 3 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's between. I mean, those like changed my life too, and watched those when like New Hope with my dad when I was like 7 years old, and it like got me into everything. I feel like all the sci-fi stuff. I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. It got me. That's probably what the gateway ultimately to like anime and like
Oh yeah.
all these other nerdy things, that I'm into. So, yeah, yeah.
I feel that, and then now, like, I just think it's funny every time I see a meme about, like, people like, oh, yeah, they're like, why aren't these, like, goth bitches not loving me anymore? And it's probably because you, like, bullied them in high school, so kudos, so
Yeah.
big shouts, so I feel like nerd culture is in the resurgence right now, so listen, all of you fucking losers who aren't nerds, listen up. This is real shit.
Yeah.
So, but love the answers. Again, I felt a lot of like I resonated with a lot of your answers because again, you already know I look like a nerd, so I'm very much in that lane already. But the next question I have for you guys: if you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be?
I don't even want to say. I don't even want to say. Oh man.
I feel like I broke Pat.
No. It's just it's the farthest thing from what anybody would probably like.
I don't know. Mine's pretty random, or like extremely random. I think maybe not. It might also be a very like.
I'm on an island.
common
It's
answer.
like I love metal. I love what we do, but
Is it like
if
Jimmy
I'm on
Buffett,
a-
dude?
No, dude. I'm
Is
talking.
this like Passage Chili to Margaritaville on loop?
It's
I
just
wanna have a
greatest
good
hits.
time. I wanna have a good time.
as you slowly starve.
I'm thinking like Queen's greatest hits. Give me that.
That's not that weird.
That's not that weird.
So I feel
Or
like that's like probably a very common answer. Like that's like a lot
Yeah.
of people fucking love
maybe.
Queen.
All right.
I
What's
don't
the
know.
weird
Queen's
answer,
fucking
Pat?
great.
I was gonna go with Simon and Garfunkel's greatest hits. I own both.
Okay,
Oh,
that's not weird.
respect. Yeah.
Not that weird.
Yeah, it's not that
It's
weird.
not that
Respect.
weird.
I like that.
No.
I'm
Yeah.
about
I
it.
just want to
Yeah.
chill. If I'm fucking rotting and starving to death, I'm assuming there's no food on this desert island. I mean, what do we got?
That's the thing.
the other
You were
thing. What do
asking
we
too many
got?
questions. That's
Oh. I'm gonna interview you.
okay. Food and water will be provided.
Oh fuck! Well, that just changed up.
Everything.
You're saying that if you were in a life or death situation, you would put Simon and Garfunkel on? What the fuck? Oh my god.
Simon and Garfunkel's only if I'm dying.
Yeah. Pat's
Otherwise,
like,
it's Slayer.
literally, Pat's like breaking case of emergency, and it's just the Simon and Garfunkel greatest hits. So he just fucking smashes the glass and he takes out the fucking CD.
Jake, if we ever hear Pat play Simon and Garfunkel in the tour
Something's
bus,
wrong.
jump out.
Yes.
Unavail.
100%.
Especially if
Unavail,
he's driving. Yeah.
It's going
Over.
down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking forget it.
No one go in the van. No one go in the tour bus. As Simon and Garfunkel plays, everybody find their like emergency position and just go.
If there's food and water, it's gonna be Andrew WK. Give me fucking. I want to
Okay.
party hard on an
All right,
island with
respect.
food and water.
Man.
Respect. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Respect. I still liked your Simon and Garfunkel answer. That one's
Well, that's only
all
if
time.
I'm starving to death. If we're talking, you're talking Tom Hanks and Wilson. I want
Oh
Simon
my
and
god.
Garfunkel.
It's just him in the CD, and he drew like a smiley face on like the CD, the jewel case.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it. I love it.
Exactly.
Rohan or
If
Jake?
greatest hits are
They're on the
included
table.
in this, okay, if they're on the table, then it would be the Eagles' greatest hits.
See, not
But
that
if
far off. That's good.
yeah, but if greatest hits were off the table,
Okay.
I would have to say Rumors, Fleetwood Mac.
But
Ooh.
is that food or not food? Is it?
Yeah,
it
is
It
it
doesn't
is it
matter.
life
It
or
doesn't
death?
Yeah. Oh, except I would have to strike through. I think it's song 5 off of Rumors. It's like the weird daddy song. I don't fuck with that song. That song's super fucking weird for me, man. I would have to kill it and skip it every time. But other than that, that
Nix
album
that
is
one.
like I could listen to it on repeat for eternity.
I love it.
I'd probably bring The Beautiful Letdown by Switchfoot.
Ooh, is that a breaking case of emergency? I feel like now I have to have a caveat to this question now. All thanks to Pat.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I was stuck on an island, and as much as I love like metal, if that's like all I listen to, and let's say I survived like 2 weeks, like I'll be like way too depressed to make it. You know what I mean? Because like as much as I love like all of the heavy stuff, like there's got to be some amount of like something to balance it out.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I feel like you need an album that you can play in the quiet moments.
Yeah.
Oh
It
yeah.
needs to be
know,
something that's It needs to be
because
something that's timeless too, like in a way, and
Mhm.
that you're not going to completely get sick of. But at the same time, it has to be like it can have those quiet moments, but it also needs to have something like positive and like happy going on for when you're
Yeah.
having your good time on the island.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just fucked.
The only metal album I would consider for that is Blizzard of Oz. That's the only one because it's got the quiet song, it's got the ballads, and
All
it's
right.
got like,
Respect.
and it's not like heavy,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
got like it's got everything.
It's got a little
it all.
a little sprinkle, you know. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
it's got the rock and guitar solos. It's got all the stuff.
All right. Well, I'm gonna thank Pat for that great caveat to my question. Now, I'm just gonna let everybody know going further. Uh, you know, food and beverages will be provided on said fake island question. So, just so you guys know, listen, Pat asked the right questions. No one has asked that in my 7-year tenure of doing this. So, all of you are wrong. Pat is the most correct answer. So, just want to let you know. Now you know. The next thing, guys, the thing that I round out all of my interviews with as of currently, and it'll wind up staying in the rotation. But what do you want people to take away from Hunter Alive and why you do it? I feel like a lot of the times when I have bands on, we obviously have a good time and we joke around. But you know, there's people behind the music that create it, and just want to know, like, you know, why do you create music and why did you feel like, you know, it has impacted you in that way to share that experience with other people?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's kind of like a healthy mix of different things here. Like I think sometimes, you know, at least like I mean lyrically and musically, like sometimes it's just that we have something to say,
Sure.
whether
Yeah.
something good or bad. And you know, sometimes it's too just like, hey, this is what I'm feeling. You feeling it too? Like you're not alone, kind of shit. I know that's like kind of like a trope in like this kind of genre for sure. So I don't need to talk too much about that because I feel like that's probably like a lot of bands out there. So I mean, it's kind of a healthy mix of like, hey, we got something to say, you know, hey, you're not alone. I'm going through it too. You can relate to this. And I think there's like the third thing that I feel like a lot of bands like forget about when they talk about it. Like we just want to write stuff that's fun, that like people can jam and like that people can hang out to. And I know like people definitely do that, but I feel like that's not like a lot of people's goal.
Sure.
in
Yeah.
a way. In a way, they're just like, we want to write like the heaviest shit. But I don't know. We want to do that too. But like, we want to have a lot of fun. We want people to come to our shows and hang out and write some tunes that they can mosh or jump to or sing along to.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like we have a lot of fun writing it, and we have a lot of fun just hanging out. And I hope that like the vibe that we have when we hang as just friends you know, of course, as musicians, come through the music, and then when people listen to it, they feel that same vibe, and they want to like just hang and party and do and say all the dumb shit that we do, but maybe a little more responsible than us.
Better said than me, but I agree 100%.
Pat, what do you got?
Want to get deep for a minute?
All right, the dad of the band. Let's go.
Pat's goal is to nab a goth chick who will listen to a Simon and Garfunkel album.
Guy can dream. You know, music has given my life purpose, meaning. Hunter Alive has completely saved me, and I don't know where I would be if I'd even be here at all if it wasn't for these guys right now. They've given me a lot, and they've not only given me a lot, but they've been there for me through a lot. And I just want to give that back. And I think we have, over the years, you know, some people have reached out directly and, you know, said how much our music means to them. And, you know, I just hope that we can continue to make music that touches people and reaches people. And, you know, yeah, that's really it.
I really just want to touch people. Let it be known.
I love touching people almost as much as I love touching myself, but you fucking ruined a good
Man,
moment.
we really hit
But
a
no,
180
you know,
on that one.
It's just, yeah, I just want to share everything good that this band has done for me with everybody that we can.
I like that, guys. With that M. Night Shyamalan of an ending, we're gonna talk about obviously the reason why you come to check out this band. And honestly, I think this interview, much similarly to a lot of my other interviews, is that I always try to facilitate that there's a connection with both you as the listener and the band. Like, these people are humans. They do the same shit that you do, just they happen to play music, and it's fucking sick. So I feel the same way about this whole scene, and I you know, I feel grateful to be a part of it. And honestly, if you haven't checked Hunter Alive out yet, what the fuck are you doing? You need to go check them out. And this is a perfect segue into the next point, which is, where can they find you at, guys? Where's your music at? Where's your merch at? And what do you have coming up next?
Our
Music's
merch is-
everywhere.
Our merch is in a box that you have to come to our shows to get it from.
That's some bullshit, Jake, and you know it.
It
I mean,
is
yeah.
currently in a box, but on our next release round, we will have everything up online. We promise.
Woo!
And
We're definitely
you'll be able
going to.
buy it, but just come to our shows. And we have new music. We'll have new music coming out soon. We have some new stuff in the works. We have some new singles that we are super proud of that we are working on, almost done, and yeah, they'll be in the world very shortly. So stay tuned.
There we go. And where can they find you on social media, guys?
Instagram at Hunter Alive Official, and Facebook, Hunter Alive. And music wise, I mean, it's just like typical streaming stuff. You go to a website and you upload it, and then you just hit like all the boxes and hit like upload, and one day at midnight or 5 days after the midnight you intended, it shows up on the streaming services. So we're on like all of them. If you can't find us on one streaming service, just like check the other one.
If you really want to support us, though, hit us up on Bandcamp
100%.
and purchase it for $3. Purchase Year of the Rats for a whole $3.33.
Yep, you can
Bargain.
buy weird McDonald's cravings and White Castle cravings if you buy an EP for the low price of name your own price.
You can get Jake a half of a Starbucks drink.
Yes.
Love it. Well, guys, listen. Year the Rats. It's a fucking fantastic EP. I'll leave a link for that in the description along with their social media. Make sure to give them a follow. Make sure to subscribe to their YouTube page as well. I did that. So if I do it, now you have to do it. Okay, so there's no there. I'm not gonna take no for an answer. You better fucking go do that right now. So go do it. And if you like this interview, just make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way. It will also be up on streaming platforms, so Spotify, Apple Music, all that sort of stuff. So if you don't want to like look at us, I think objectively we're all very hot men. So I would be very disappointed if you didn't want to look at us. I would feel a little bit disappointed, to be fair. You know, I don't want to make Pat cry either. So you know, just listen. If you want to listen to us, that's great. But watch the video; it's even better. So much appreciated, and huge thanks to Hunter Alive for coming on tonight. You guys were great.
Yeah. Big thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank
this was
you.
great.